Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And on behalf of the 57th President of the United States Naval War College, Rear Admiral Shoshana S. Chatfield, welcome to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2021. I am Captain Dieterle, the Dean of Students and MC for today's ceremony. The national anthem will be sung by musician second class Rachel Vanell from Navy Band Northeast.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the balls bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the hope of the brave?
Commander John Van Dyke, Chaplain Corps, U.S. Navy, College of Naval Warfare, will deliver the invocation.
If you would care to join me as I pray, I invite you to bow your head with me. Almighty God, eternal Father, strong to save, as we gather today for the graduation of the 2021 classes of the College of Naval Warfare and the Naval Command College, I thank you for the goodness that you've shown to us over this past academic year, and what a year it has been. We confess that our expectations have been challenged in a variety of ways, even as our abilities have been stretched and strengthened as students and leaders. While we have dealt with certain disappointments shared by so many over this socially distanced year, we have also experienced the joy of being able to get to know so many from a diverse spectrum of services and nationalities. Thank you for the friendships that have been made and that will endure throughout the years to come. Some of us have no doubt faced personal hardships, perhaps unknown to many others, while some have achieved personal goals they have pursued for many years. In all of this, you have been kind, even when that was hard to see. We thank you for all those who have contributed to the success of this extraordinary year, for the administration and staff of the United States Naval War College, for the outstanding faculty, and for all of our family members and friends who have encouraged and supported us over this year. I ask now, dear God, because you are good, that you would use this final event of our year as students to encourage us as we prepare to move on to wherever we are called to serve next and whatever responsibilities we may assume. And in all of this, may your great name be praised now and forevermore. Amen.
Several years ago, we began a tradition at the U.S. Naval War College of allowing the graduating student body to nominate their guest speaker from among all the talented professionals at the college. I would like to ask graduating student Captain Mark Alexander to introduce your faculty guest speaker. Mark?
Good morning. I'm Captain Mark Alexander, and today I have the honor of introducing our guest speaker. Professor Joe McGraw joined the Joint Military Operations Department in August of 2014, following command of a U.S. Army Special Forces Battalion. He retired from active service in 2017 and joined the JMO faculty as an associate professor. Prior tours include Commander, Special Operations Task Force West, Afghanistan, Executive Officer, 1st Special Forces Group Airborne, and Deputy Commander, Joint Special Operations Task Force Philippines. He is the co-author of the book, The Sovereignty Solution, and co-teaches several electives at the Naval War College. What's particularly special about this ceremony, as Cindy just mentioned, is the fact that the Admiral and the Dean of Students gave us, the graduating class, the opportunity to select a guest speaker. In an academic year that can be described as nothing less than unusual, Joe maintained the standards of this world-class educational opportunity we came to be a part of. Our classes may not have been in person, but Joe made it personal. He reached through that Zoom screen and got involved in our lives. He brought us together as a team and made us the most socially distant social group in Newport. He emphasized the critical bond with our foreign classmates and helped build those partnerships and friendships. In addition to the standard coursework, every class with Joe involved a life lesson, a leadership challenge, and solid applicable advice as we all move on to senior leadership roles. He was passionate about JMO, and his energetic attitude was infectious, making all the difference in the world in this Zoom environment. We're all grateful for the role that he played in our Naval War College experience. Without further ado, let's just get after it. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Joe McGraw.
Mark, thanks for that very, very kind introduction. I'm extremely thankful to work with you and all your colleagues and co-conspirators, I might add, in JMO Seminar 6. Y'all are a special bunch of leaders. Looking forward to watching you progress in your careers, all of you. Admiral Chatfield, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and especially our honored graduates and their families, it is truly my pleasure to address you this morning. I cannot begin to express how humbling it is, what a tremendous honor it is to be the first to formally congratulate you on this accomplishment. Now, I see we've got a lot of people in this room for graduation, which means we've got a lot of family and friends that are here to support your graduates. That's fantastic. Thank you for taking the time to do that. I do want to give you fair warning. Part of teaching or providing an address in the Zoom environment means you've got to use some tricks of the trade. And what I mean by that is that if I lose my way, or if I come off script, or if I forget what I'm talking about, to buy myself some time, I'm going to just ask you a question. And I can't tell at this point who's students and who's family. So if you didn't go to school here and I call on you, just do the best you can. Stay on your toes. Folks, I recognize that I lack the rank, the stature, some of the professional accomplishments of a typical PME graduation speaker. I'll do my best to make up for the lack of those qualities by delivering remarks with a little bit of humor, hopefully some relevance, and most importantly, brevity. Y'all can grade me when this is over. Personally, I can't think of anything more COVID era appropriate than asking an old Army colonel to give your Navy War College graduation address. Somehow that fits in the academic year 2020-2021. I do intend to make these remarks brief. I know many of you are eagerly awaiting the conclusion of this ceremony, simply because you all need to be at your next duty assignment, like yesterday, or at least the officer you're relieving would have you all believe as such. So I recognize that many of you will leave Newport today, probably this very afternoon. And some of you actually have your vehicles loaded down, engine running, ready to go. So as you drive away from Naval Station Newport towards your next adventure that you're going to have, you're going to have to cross one of the 3 bridges that connect us here on Aquidneck Island to the mainland of Rhode Island and the rest of southern New England. So my parting piece of advice to all of you, and as the locals are known to say here in Newport, if you cross a bridge, you better pack a lunch. If you cross a bridge, you better pack a lunch. When I moved here several years ago and heard this strange saying, I thought that the expression was some sort of folksy, blue-blooded, New Englandy, no place is better than our home type of expression. Something like, why would you ever want to leave this island? And if you do leave, just know that everything is going to be terrible and the food will be lousy. So if you have to leave here, you better bring something to eat. But after talking to some of the old timers and poking around at the town historical societies, I've discovered there's actually a deeper meaning in this expression. And I think by sharing it, I might provide some helpful advice as you head away from the War College and return to the force. So with that expression in mind, I'm going to give you 3 quick points. It has to be 3 quick points. It's a graduation address rule. It's a JMO paper rule. 3 quick points on how this local Newport, Rhode Island expression might help you out down the road. Now, according to the old timers here, the expression, if you cross a bridge, better pack a lunch, actually grew out of the phrase, if you leave the island, you need to pack a lunch. So this is in the time before the bridges were built, you're using ferries, to reach the mainland. And rather than being a warning about the quality of the food off island, it was actually a phrase to remind people to be prepared for the unexpected. Because anytime you leave the security and safety and provision of your own community and venture into the wider world, you need to be prepared for the unexpected events. You have to be prepared for a ferry that doesn't arrive in time to bring you back. You have to be prepared for the weather to change suddenly, as it does around here in New England. You have to be prepared for the naval station's operational gate to suddenly change at the last minute when you might be late for class without notice or warning. That's a Naval War College joke. And in this light, the philosophy behind this old Newport saying is similar to any tight-knit community stage advice. If you leave the safety of the community, you have to be prepared. All of you, regardless of nationality and branch of service, will soon be heading out to assume important duties in your organizations. And you'll once again be asked to lead your nation's sons and daughters into dangerous environments against very capable adversaries and away from the safety and security of your own communities. You need to be, you must be prepared for the unexpected. Now, the good news is that you've spent the last year here at the War College building and enhancing your ability to think and to think critically. You've learned more in this past year than you think you have. I promise you that's the case. If your experience in professional military education is anything like my own, it'll be 6 months to a year before you really begin to realize what skills you developed during your time here at school. I fully expect that the vast majority of you are now better writers, you're better consumers of information, and you're better critical thinkers than you were when you first arrived. And those are the skills that build habit of mind. Those are the skills that are most critical in responding to the unexpected challenges that you're certainly going to encounter. So as you cross the bridges this afternoon, just know that through your study and your reflection and your academic work, that you've prepared yourself for the unexpected. You've packed your lunch. Now, a second point on this relevance of this expression, if you cross a bridge, pack a lunch. Make sure you remember to thank the people in your life that have been packing and preparing your lunches for you. Now, I'm seeing some confused looks on some of the faces out there. So for my Marines and my Navy SEALs, this is all a metaphor, that there was no lunch list that you were supposed to sign up for and didn't get. This is just an example, metaphorically speaking, on the packing of the lunch. Many of you have young families, and you were able to spend some quality class time with your children, sometimes in attendance at class, or with your children just off camera. I know, I saw many of them on most mornings over Zoom, before class, after class, sometimes during class. And many of you were able to see and hear my kids do the same thing. It was great, and it was certainly a unique experience. Now, as the kids returned to school over the winter in most places, you probably found yourself once again staying up late at night or getting up early, reading a few pages of Thucydides, of course, while you packed your kids' lunches for the school day. And for those of you that did do that or have done that, you know that there's nothing quite like it when your kids rush out the door, lunchbox in hand, without so much acknowledging the chef who prepared their lunch. Or when the kids forget to acknowledge the chef and then they forget their lunch on the counter. Or they pull the trifecta. They fail to acknowledge the chef, they leave their lunch on the counter, and then they call you an hour later from school to please bring them their lunch. Everyone likes to be acknowledged. And by the way, if your kids are too young for this, I promise you this will happen often, long after it should. It's important to acknowledge and thank and recognize the people that support you, the people that allow you to prepare for the unknown. Take some time today, this morning, in fact, to thank the people around you who have supported you, not just in this academic experience, but through your entire demanding career. Your senior mentors that allowed you to make mistakes and learn, your professional peers that keep you level-headed, the NCOs, the chiefs who've made you into the leaders you are today, and especially the family members who share you and their time with you with this demanding profession. And it is a demanding profession, both on you and your family. One of the things that each of you probably developed over this very interesting year was a new approach to balancing your career with your family life. If you have done that, you've attained this new center point where you have your priorities in better balance. Make sure you keep that balance in the assignments that lay ahead. You've earned it. Your families deserve it, and your subordinates need to see it. When you get back out to the force and you take that next important assignment, show the people around you how to maintain that balance by demonstrating an appreciation for the people that make your lunch, that allow you to stay prepared. That means you don't sneak out the side door of the headquarters at 1400 to make that anniversary lunch with your spouse or to catch the Little League game or the ballet recital. Announce what you're doing to the people around you and why you're doing it. You're taking care of the people who take care of you. They allow you to prepare for the unknown. Make sure you acknowledge them and you thank them. Your subordinates need to see that. Our force needs to grow and develop that. Final point. This expression, if you cross a bridge, better pack a lunch. It's kind of a silly little thing. It's certainly not the critical element that you'd ever use as a theme for a class seminar or professional development or a graduation address. But sometimes it's these seemingly small things or the common things we take for granted that are what most meaningfully connect people to other people. For Rhode Islanders, the phrase is meaningful. In the same way that those ubiquitous Hi Neighbor bumper stickers and the big blue bug have meaning here in Rhode Island. No matter how seemingly small, the ties that bind people together, that connect us rather than divide us, are tremendously important. They're critical. You all are now tied to one another through your attendance of and graduation from the Naval War College. All NWC cohorts have similar connections between a specific year's students. And this institution is keen on helping you keep these connections to one another because your individual connections serve to underpin and strengthen our major national partnerships and alliances. I suspect your ties to one another will actually be stronger than most Naval War College cohorts, not in spite of COVID, but because of it. You will always be the COVID class, and I suspect that's how you will refer to yourselves as you bump into one another far into the future. Your COVID environment experience as a student at NWC will be a line that connects across services, across departments, across nationalities. Connections between people matter. It's the main thing in the people business. We are very much all in the people business. Anthropologists have noted that we live in an age where it is far easier to destroy than it is to create. And it's far easier to separate and divide than connect and bind. Where many people have hundreds of social media connections and friends, most of whom really aren't either connections or friends. Those relationships are somehow lacking. The ties that bind us together as a community, as a people, as nations, are under great strain today. If we are charged with defending these communities, these nations, then we have to protect the remaining threads that bind us together. You all represent one of those threads for the nations that you represent. The uniform that you wear, marking you as a member of your military, as representatives of your government, is a line that connects people together. For the American military members, you are consistently rated as the most respected, most honored, most legitimate institution of your government. From one side of the US partisan political spectrum to the other, people respect your service. And their common respect of you is a tie that connects all of our people together. It may be the most important line connecting Americans together today, and it has to be sustained. It has to be protected. When people come up to you, you're in uniform at the airport or at the train station and say, thank you for your service, keep in mind that they aren't simply thanking you. They are thanking you and everyone in uniform to your left and right. They are thanking you and everyone that wore that uniform before you from Bunker Hill till today. They are acknowledging a common held respect for what that uniform means and what it represents. If this thread that connects begins to fray through our neglect or our apathy or our disrespect, then our people become further disconnected from another and the nation grows vulnerable. There are voices on all sides of the American ideological spectrum that will tell you that you must pick a side, that you must pick their side, that you have to choose between one set of Americans against another, that in effect, you have to cut this cord that connects, this unified trust and respect for the US military, that binds Americans together despite their many differences. I would humbly suggest and request, do not heed these voices, not in uniform. Stay above the partisan bickering that serves to separate and divide. Be an example to everyone around you that shares in the responsibility to connect our people together. Be the thread that connects. Be the line that holds. The defense of our nation and the protection of our people depend on it. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my great honor to address you today and to congratulate you and your families on this enormous accomplishment, and it is an enormous accomplishment. I know I speak for all of my colleagues within the NWC faculty and staff by saying, don't forget us. The biggest compliments we ever receive are when graduates like you now contact us to let us know the impact of their education, what to keep, what to change, how we can help. And your frequent contact with us allows us to remain relevant to future students. So stay in touch. Good luck in your next assignments. Safe travels to you and your families. Fair winds and following seas.
Professor McGraw, on behalf of the students, staff, and faculty, thank you for your comments and your ongoing contributions and service to our country. For each graduating class, one student is selected for recognition as the Navy League's Stephen B. Luce Award in honor of the first president of the Naval War College. Recipients of this award are chosen based on their outstanding achievement across a spectrum of disciplines, including academic performance, participation in Naval War College activities, participation in civic and community activities, and promotion of armed services in the public interest. For the senior level college, the Stephen B. Luce Award for the distinguished graduate is presented to Captain Sachin Deer, Indian Navy. Captain Deer is also the recipient of the Admiral Arlie A. Burke Award for academic excellence by an international officer. Captain Deer finished #1 of 151. He was the academic rep for S&P. He led the NSA final exercise, participated in 16 field study programs, and was an active participant during all general officer presentations. He volunteered for Middletown Boy Scout Troop 77 and the Rhode Island Medical Reserve Corps in support of COVID-19 response. He was highly involved in social events, such as providing classmates a glimpse of Indian culture and cuisine, diving into American holiday customs, as well as a variety of sporting events. Additionally, he devoted extra time to assist in several research projects outside the required curriculum. These projects supported the Naval War College and organizations, individuals outside of our community. We will now give Captain Deer a few moments to address his fellow graduates and classmates.
Thank you. Admiral Chatfield, CNO Fellows, distinguished faculty and staff of the United States Naval War College, fellow students, and honored guests from across the world. As an international officer, I am truly humbled to be selected as the honor graduate of the senior course. On behalf of the College of Naval Warfare and the Naval Command College, June 2021 graduating class, I would like to thank all faculty, alumni, family, friends, and guests from around the world joining us here today. To my fellow classmates and students from the intermediate class, congratulations. We graduate with our heads held high. After completing a rigorous academic year, we are now among the college's esteemed alumni. Sun Tzu once said, in the midst of chaos lies opportunity. Our class, or may I say, the Fight Club, exemplifies his words absolutely. We started on Zoom, but we finished together, building ships, but also friendships, relationships, and scholarships in every trimester. By reading and writing thousands of pages amidst the COVID pandemic, we systematically developed our intellect, reasoning, and capacity to innovate. Fear, honor, and interest will still lead to future conflicts. Creating a better state of peace is what we must strive for. They say it is the burden of every generation to relearn everything that has been learned in the past. Our education has indeed empowered us to face the challenges of an uncertain world steadfast. Many, many thank yous are due, especially at the end of this unprecedented year. We begin with our closest family and friends who join us from around the two hemispheres. You have dealt with worries, injuries, and illness in the year gone by. We gratefully honor your courage and acknowledge your time today to see us graduate. A special word for our spouses and children who stood by. Without you, this milestone would have been impossible to cross by. And then we look into the eyes of our esteemed faculty, fellows, and staff, as also the pivotal assistants from the Writing Center, library, IT, graphics, facilities, and other support staff. You have all transformed our worldview and vision profoundly. Thank you for expanding our horizons and setting us up for success soundly. What would some of the great authors we have studied tell us today, I think? Let's begin with Mahan, our own homegrown Newport icon. Mahan would have cautioned us against the rise of the rest and urged us to keep our powder dry, I guess. Clausewitz would have advocated critical analysis and probably reminded me that this honor bestowed is a matter of chance and probability. And finally, Kautilya's Arthashastra would remind us that good karma, meaning positive action, will preserve humanity. I end by reminding us all what Margaret Mead famously said many decades ago. Never underestimate the power of a small group of committed people to change the world. In fact, it is the only thing that ever has. Ladies and gentlemen, we are that small group of committed people. As we disperse to over 38 countries across the globe, it is our responsibility as Naval War College alumni to change the world and establish that better state of peace. And since wars begin in the minds of men, it is in the minds of men that the defense of peace must be constructed, not for ourselves, but for our grandchildren and those who cannot protect themselves. Thank you so much, and may God bless us all.
Thank you, Captain D. Beyond the requirements for graduation, certain individuals have distinguished themselves through academic excellence. A diploma with highest distinction is presented to the top 5% of each graduating class. A diploma with distinction is presented to the next 15% of each graduating class. Rear Admiral Chatfield, I have the honor to present the United States Naval War College class of 2021. They have been thoroughly examined and approved by the faculty.
By the power vested in me by the Congress of the United States, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the New England Commission of Higher Education, I confer upon you the appropriate degrees and diplomas from the United States Naval War College, with all the honors, rights, and privileges pertaining thereto. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting with our applause the graduates of the United States Naval War College, class of 2021, and their families.
Congratulations, graduates. It's my honor to present Rear Admiral Shoshana S. Chatfield, who will now issue the charge to the graduates. Admiral?
Thank you to our College of Naval Warfare and Naval Command College chosen guest speaker, Professor Joe McGraw, for your remarks to our graduates. We greatly appreciate your message and your valuable insights as our graduates move on to greater levels of responsibility within our Department of Defense, our interagency, and the militaries of our important international partners. And I'd also like to express my personal appreciation to Captain Sachin-Deer, and I know that each of you feels the same way. You represented your class so well, and thank you for your important remarks today. To our honored guests who are watching online, I want to welcome and thank each one of you for joining us today. I hope that you will be able to return to Newport and visit us after we return to in-person learning in the fall. To the Naval War College Foundation, to their Chief Executive Officer, Mr. George Lang, the foundation staff, and the community-minded foundation members, thank you for your generosity. Your gifts have provided critical funding that enriched and enhanced the programs and initiatives offered by this college. To our international program sponsors, I thank you for supporting our in-resident international students. You have played an invaluable role in the development of trust and friendship with our maritime partners that the security of our nation depends upon. To our interim provost, our deans, our outstanding faculty and staff of this college, you have set the bar high, even in this time of pandemic. You have mastered the new technologies. You have performed your scholarship and your support and equipped these graduates to be, as our chairman has told us, today's decision makers and tomorrow's leaders. Today, you get to see the fruits of your labors as these graduates rejoin their posts as advocates of peace and security around the globe. And to our hardworking military families, each of you, your love, support, patience, and endurance is what enables these warfighters the ability to protect and serve their nations. I hope this year in Newport has been a welcome break and a much-deserved reprieve for you and your families, even as we face the pandemic together. Thank you for supporting your service members through it all, and thank you for everything you do for your nations. And to the class of 2020-21, congratulations. You are now graduates of the United States Naval War College, a place of original research on all questions relating to war and the statesmanship connected with war or the prevention of war. That quote from Rear Admiral Stephen B. Luce, our late founding father, is as relevant today as it was when he wrote those words. For the last year, you have been part of this college's great mission. We're committed to education, to research, and to outreach. And it is now your opportunity to leverage the knowledge that you have gained here and to go back into a very dynamic security environment. You have as a tool your critical thinking and your ability collectively to outthink your adversaries. You've been provided with a new set of freshly honed tools, sharpened to be able to anticipate and prepare for the future. Your new skill set is capable of strengthening the foundations of peace and creating decisive warfighting advantage for your nation, for the United States, for our maritime partners, and our allies. The United States is a maritime nation. Our security and prosperity depend upon the seas. The world, however, is changing at a rapid pace, so we cannot remain stagnant. Our former Secretary of the Navy, Kenneth Braithwaite, stated that our rules-based international order is once again under assault. We must prepare as a unified naval service to ensure that we are equal to the challenge. Our maritime service chiefs have committed to working together to build, lead, and advance a rules-based international system through shared commitments with our allies and partners. Graduates, you are being asked to synchronize your capabilities and capacities while building a strong worldwide network of maritime partnerships, united in common purpose and a relentless drive to anticipate, think creatively and critically, and to lead through this change. Your careers have been filled with unpredictability and momentous change, a dynamic reality that our leaders see as an opportunity for continuous learning is a key strategic enabler to the success of our fighting forces, to the success of our interagency partners, and to the success of our international partners. This investment in your education is a direct investment into our continued peace and stability, the creation of warfighting advantages and advantage at sea. Our soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, guardians, and Coast Guardsmen are our most important contributors to those very specific needs. Each one of our service members brings different and special contributions to our teams. Cultivating a high-performing and innovative workforce built on the foundations of diversity and inclusion starts at the top, and it is carried out by each leader, each of you as frontline leaders. Set the example, hold the standards high among the ranks. You are going to need to be able to tap into every single person's energy and capabilities, valuing and integrating their individual perspectives, ideas, and contributions. This type of inclusive leadership will cast a new light on challenges and obstacles, and it will enable naval teams to maximize their potential. My charge to you as you head back into your operational positions throughout the world is to pack what you've learned here, this education, these new experiences, these important relationships into your sea bag. You'll utilize these new tools to analyze how we fight. You'll frame problems, you'll develop and assess solutions, and you will build winning teams. Your academic year here in Newport is only a small slice of the continuum of learning that will take place throughout your career. You must continue investing energy into personal and professional development, not just for yourself, but for those you lead. Do not sit comfortably in your area of expertise. You must press to the edges and seek opportunities to impact, collide, and consult with others who are at the margins of their areas of expertise, whose specialties and viewpoints differ from yours. That's where you'll innovate. That's where you'll build new ideas. That's the key to our future success. Take the knowledge and experience that you have gained here as a new lens through which to view the challenges you will inevitably face in the future. You are duty bound to rely and draw from this strengthened intellect, your improved analytic skills, and your expanded perspective. I encourage you to lead well. Your job here is not complete. You are now members of the United States Naval War College Alumni Association. It dates back 137 years. I encourage you to stay connected, engaged, and to continue to conduct outreach and engagement with naval, joint, interagency, and international stakeholders. I implore you to foster a network of lifelong partnerships built on diverse perspectives, enhanced through interoperability, and strengthened through intellectual capability. Together, we'll push the bar higher here at the United States Naval War College to deliver excellence in education, excellence in research, and excellence in every single one of our outreach activities. And again, to all of our families and friends here today, I thank you for being the pillar of your graduates' strength, motivation, and endurance. Thank you for taking the time to be here to share in this momentous occasion. To all our graduates, a big BZ, Bravo Zulu. Congratulations on a job well done. We are so proud of you.
I would now like to introduce Professor Julia Gage, Director of Alumni Programs.
Hello, congratulations, graduates, and welcome to the Naval War College alumni community. We are very excited to have you with us on behalf of 50,000 alumni strong. We welcome you to the sorry. Can you hear me? Okay, sorry. We welcome you to the Naval War College alumni community. This has been a year that you undoubtedly will never forget, but we can speak from experience and tell you this is education that you will always remember. And so to add to that sea bag or to pack in your lunch, we have tools and resources for you to use as you continue your professional development and maintain those personal and professional contacts. And so I invite you to join us at myusnwc.com. That's your alumni portal. On there, you'll find a wealth of resources, contact directories, event invitations, resources such as articles, lectures of opportunity, special panel video discussions, discussion groups, and this year we're launching a mutual mentoring program. So I really encourage you to join us on myusnwc.com and contribute to the conversation because alumni are waiting to learn from you as well. And so again, on behalf of our large alumni community, I wish you welcome, congratulations, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now enjoy the service songs of our nation's armed forces as we celebrate the achievements of this remarkable and resilient group of graduates. The songs will be accompanied by candid photos from throughout the past year, as well as some surprise shout outs.
To the leaders, scholars, and warfighters graduating today, congratulations. You have achieved an enormous accomplishment from one of the most distinguished institutions in the world, and you should be proud. The strength of our national security is not just ships and hardware, it's also our intellectual firepower. You have proved that over the last year, and I'm humbled to know that leaders such as yourselves are on deck to guide us forward. I offer you my congratulations and thank you for your continued service.
Hello, I'm General Jim McConville, the 40th Chief of Staff of the United States Army. And I'm here appropriately at the National Museum of the United States Army in front of a Navy ship replicating the amphibious assault at D-Day. And I want to congratulate you all on completing this major milestone and moving on to a new chapter in your careers. I also want to thank your families for their commitment and all that they do to enable you to stay focused on your mission. Your success in your next job is critical to our nation. We are proud of all of you, and we trust you to lead in the decades to follow. It's about people first, and winning matters.
Congratulations, graduating students, on your significant accomplishments over the past year. I want to send a special shout out to the 7 Coast Guard officers who are graduating as well. Bravo Zulu. You can be sure that despite these unforeseen circumstances with COVID-19, you'll look back on your year at the Naval War College with fond memories. You have developed personal and professional relationships with your classmates, and you have significantly increased your critical thinking abilities. You have learned the theory of the operational level of war, leadership skills, and professional ethics, and you have engaged with your fellow international officers, developing relationships that will last a lifetime. So keep those business cards up to date. You never know when you'll need to call on one of your fellow classmates in the future. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Commander Van Dyke will deliver the benediction.
Again, if you care to join me as I pray, I invite you to bow your head with me. Gracious God, as we leave today, no longer students, but alumni of the United States Naval War College, I ask that you would renew our courage and confidence, granting us the wisdom and humility we need to serve faithfully in this world full of wars and rumors of war. Use us, I pray, to make for a better peace in the days to come. And until you are pleased to make all wars cease, I ask that you would go before us and be our guide, come behind us and be our guard, and show yourself to be a shield to all who trust in you. Now, Sovereign Lord, send us on with your mercy and peace, I pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. We thank you for joining us.
Thank you.